As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Good morning, YouTube. I hope you guys are doing amazing this Thursday. I am not coming bedside today. Anyways, I'm sure you guys are probably wondering what was going on. I haven't been bedside since, I don't know, since I started this channel. Remember, we used to always go bedside with messy hair and, everything like that because it was early in the morning. People should be in bed and have messy hair. But just wanted to tell you guys good morning. I'm back in the office and moved both the computers back here, and we are live streaming from here today. So I hope everybody is just having a wonderful morning. Good morning, Tennessee girl, Lori, Bullhorn Betty present, T, Nat Nat, Ange. Justice for All is in the room. Mike Stevens, nice to see you. Emma, good morning. It's so nice to see you in here. I hope you have been doing well. Anissa, good morning. Christine, Sage, nice to see you. Sonia, nice to see you. Lori, a different Lori, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So, and Zoe Archer, nice to see you in here today. So, some Bethy Cakes, nice to see you. So, it looks like we got some new faces and some returning ones this morning. I hope, again, everybody is getting excited as we slide into Friday TGIF soon. FBI, love from the UK. Thank you so much for being here. So, Justice for All. I mean, he had some mind blowing information yesterday, and all of us are kind of sitting here saying, what in the heck's going on? Right? We know that Justice for All has had the inside contact with Jose's family, but it made the internet's talk. Like, I was listening to people all day yesterday analyze this, and some are for, some believe it and some don't. I can tell you, I love Justin. I love Justice for All. I think he has incredible integrity. He knows how I feel about him. I trust when stuff comes out of his mouth. I do. But do I trust Jose and Jose's family? That's where I think some people have a problem, right? So I'm just curious, what happened to Jose and why now? Why now? So we're going to try to take a little bit of a dive in here. Justice for All has obviously family, and he's got children he's got to get off to school. So we're just going to kind of wing it here, and analyze, what does our team believe? What does the coffee clubbers believe? Do we believe do we believe he just had a break and it was unrelated to Summer? Do we think it's related to Summer? Do we feel that people were, bullying him? Was this substance related? Was this, how did this all happen? I know we were provided a little bit of information that it could be one way or another as to how he met his demise, but what do we know? We don't know a whole lot. We don't know a whole lot right now. What we heard is that he's no longer with us. They're waiting for, is it right? Autopsy, Justice? Is it autopsy or just the blood work stuff? So I don't know what they're doing. But there could have been, the gentleman was of poor health. He was of a larger size. It could have been something medical. We just don't know at this point what it was. What I can tell you is I searched high and low in South Carolina, Georgia, North Carolina, and Tennessee to find out any scintilla of, information related to, possibly what happened, and I could not locate anything. A few people I know, Justice for All said he's going to be posting the information toxicology report. Thank you, Ange. The toxicology report. He was doing great last time I talked to him. So let me just read this, because even though Justice for All is getting the kids ready, he is kind of corresponding here. So let's just see what he has to say here. He says, so Justice for All says that he was doing great last time he talked to him. I bought him some non-slip shoes for his work. And I was unattended. It was an unintended demise. So they're obviously the family is communicating with Justice for All. Justice for All and ICU have had the inside, line to the family and to Jose. So it's kind of hard for me to dispute what Justice for All is saying. Not only that, we know Justice for All, in my opinion, has very good integrity. I've met him personally. He bought me fried chicken. I mean, if that's not a way to my heart, I don't know what is, right? Justice for All bought Bullhorn Betty fried chicken. Not just me, everybody. But at the end of the day, he bought Bullhorn Betty fried chicken. Yeah, I love the man. Like, I'll kiss his feet. Just kidding. I'm not trying to make light of it, but you know what? We're dealing with so much craziness in the world, from Summer Wells, and of course over there in Texas, there's a lot of things going on that are just, mind blowing in our country right now. And, I like to Justice for All got it, and I just like to lighten the mood a little bit because this is devastating news. Nobody, I don't want anybody hurting themselves, even my worst enemies. I just don't want anybody. Another twist. Yeah, absolutely. And that's the issue here. This has been one crazy week we've had, not just on YouTube, but throughout the United States. There's been so much going on that it's borderline insanity. I agree with that statement. It is borderline insanity here. And, so people wanted to know, I had my mods. I love my mods, by the way. I love my mods. Ronnie, Anissa, Robin, they were all reaching out. They can tell when I'm kind of funky. And I've been kind of funky lately. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know what it was, but I know exactly what it is. So many of you guys know, and this is what upsets me. I have one hater that's on here. We all know who this person is. We're not going to bring their name up on my panel until I'm ready to bring their name up on my panel, on my show, which I brought their name up before, but neither here nor there. Basically tells me that, I shouldn't personalize with my audience. I shouldn't provide you guys. You guys are like an extended family to me. And for whatever reason, I'm not supposed to be personal with you, because even though we have a nice click here on this channel and we communicate and we share a lot of personal details, for some reason, I'm not supposed to share any personal details. I'm not supposed to be personal with you. I'm not supposed to be honest with you, because as soon as I do that, she can just take it, pull it apart and make fun of me because I am personal with my audience. Isn't that some sick stuff? And we're going to be going over, because more information is coming out about this particular person, and we're going to put it in a nice, pretty bow, and we're going to throw it out there. We're going to put it in a nice, pretty bow, and we're going to throw it out there. And that's what we're going to be doing, because you know what? You should have stopped while you were ahead. You chose not to. That's just how it rolls, right? But I'm going to tell you guys something personal, and you guys know about it. You guys already know about it. But I am never going to stop sharing my life story and sharing, being personal with the people that follow me, that love me, and that, are part of my extended family here on YouTube, right? I'm not going to do it. I don't feel I should stop sharing my life with you guys because some Yahoo doesn't know how to stick their nose where it belongs, right? So yesterday was my father's birthday. Many of you guys know that, I love my father. And, he's my dad. He was he provided for us when we were growing up. There was a lot of childhood trauma in my life when I was younger. And, there's been a lot of forgiving that's had to go on for me personally. And while I love my father, there was a time when I had, had to remove him from my life because of the toxicity and the toxic relationship. It didn't mean I stopped loving my dad. It just meant that, there had to be, I had to grow in a different direction if I was going to get better. And, yesterday was his birthday, and he called me on my birthday, and he called me for Christmas, and he called me for Easter. He's really been trying to make an effort, just, if nothing more, to reach out to me on the holidays and things of that nature. Well, I called him yesterday and, wanted to wish him a happy birthday, and I got his voicemail. So I left him a voicemail telling him happy birthday. And, I had hoped that he would call me back to at least have a conversation with me on his birthday. And of course he didn't. So it's one of those things where it's a very painful part of my life, but I had some issues with it, and I still struggle with it every day. So that's what I was dealing with yesterday. And it's hard. Every year it gets harder. So, but for those that want to know, that's it, That's where I was yesterday. I was dealing with self-pity. So, anyways, getting back to the show, I felt the need to share that. So people are concerned, I'm a human being over here that has feelings, that goes through my own stuff. And life's painful, that's the end of it. Life's painful. And then we deal with all this stuff, on YouTube. And sometimes you just have to unplug and realize that, I need to take a day. I need to take a day. I need to chill out. I need to lay in bed and eat pizza and eat cupcakes and drink coffee and watch the burn notice, right? Some people just need that, And at the end of the day, I'm here. I'm covering this thing in Texas, and it's like, there's all these people that have so much more pain and having to deal with. Like my dad lives, at the end of the day, in the grand scheme of things, my father lives a couple blocks away from me. If these people are waking up to never, seeing their family member again. And if I really wanted to push the issue, I could just drive a couple blocks away and knock on a door until the son of a gun answers, right? I don't do that. So for those that didn't mean to break it down on you, I wasn't expecting all that, but that's what happened. Yesterday was my father's birthday. I was dealing with, painful moments in my life. Every time, it's brought up, it's just painful. He's my dad. I used to go to work with him. He was my best friend when I was growing up. And to fast forward at 42 years old, and we don't even hardly talk. It's just something that I never thought would ever happen, especially at a young child. But there's a lot of pain there. My family, there's a lot of pain. That's why, a lot of childhood trauma there for me that I had to work through. And many of you guys have to work through it. It doesn't make it any easier. Some years, are worse than others. But that's what was going on. That's what's been going on with me. And, it is what it is. So sorry about that, guys. At the end of the day, we're here. Even with all the problems that I have, even with all the problems you guys have, we're still here trying to find answers in the Summer Wells case. And, it's rough. And then we hear that this gentleman lost his life. He lost his life. And we, curious as to what are the reasons that he chose, if he chose to end it, why? Why did he choose to end it? And I don't know if we're all going to know that, guys. I wanted to thank you guys for all the nice things you guys have said in chat. I really do. I appreciate that. Let's see. Let me just go back up here and yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Whew. Okay, on the 15th of March, you uploaded a live on and about Jose and Candace. I left you a comment under that video. Absolutely shameful. In your words, everyone has the right to their opinion. Despicable. I'm not sure what Lacey is talking about. Lacey, you might want to elaborate. Like, what is, say, on the 15th of March, you uploaded a live about Jose and Candace. I left you a comment under the video. Absolutely shameful. In your words, everyone has a right to their opinion. Okay, well, glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. So you have a right to your opinion, but at the end of the day, this is my channel. So I have a right to my opinion, right? Everybody's entitled to their opinion. This at the end of the day, this is ran and produced by yours truly, Bullhorn Betty. So not sure what that means. Not sure if you're upset about something, but despicable. I really don't know who you are. Does anybody recognize a Lacey Alice? A Lacey Alice? Because I've never seen you in here. And the problem I have with a lot of people that want to comment is they don't ever even watch the show. They look at a title and they make a comment. They're not here to support. They're here to antagonize. They're here to draw attention away from the message. And so if that's the case, sometimes I just go off. Sometimes I accidentally say something snotty to somebody that has a legitimate question because of all the hate in here, right? So what do I think? I think Candace, I think Candace is disgusting. I think what she had her children live through was something just despicable. I have no respect for the woman. Jose, he seems like a nice guy. And I don't want to disparage his name here in the public eye when he may have lost his life. I trust and I have all faith and I know that Justice for All has integrity. And many people that have asked me about this, I say that I'm 50-50 with this because one, I trust Justin, but the other side is I don't trust Jose or his family because I don't know him, and I don't know what the angle is, right? If he did or didn't. So, we're just going to wait for more information before I state publicly anything about one way or another. This was just a talking point. If we believe, because, there's a lot of stuff out there on the internet. For example, you have Cher coming out. Listen to the voices behind the wall. She wants documentation. She wants proof. She wants proof that this gentleman's no longer here. You've got Jonathan Lee Riches, which went out and, posted about this as well. And then you got like somebody like Benny Keys going out there, shaming everybody, which is never uncommon for him to do about this story and about having, to be the first to break it. He threw me in it and I hadn't even responded to the information related to Jose yet, but somehow or another, I got thrown into Benny Keys, tirade for whatever reason. I don't know. Benny Keys, I'd like you to explain that because I haven't even talked about Jose until now. But either way, I digress. I guess everybody's got to, have their clickbait, right? I mean, even mine, right? Think about it. The picture of Jose, the question, right? Clickbait. That's really what it is. People put catchy titles to draw an audience in. That's part of the design, right? So let's see what else we got going on here. Yeah, thank you guys. I do appreciate the love. I do appreciate the love. It's a little, it's still painful, and it's painful several times a year. Think about it. It's painful on Thanksgiving. It's painful on Christmas. It's painful on Valentine's Day. It's painful for every holiday. But it's really painful on Father's Day and his birthday, more so than anything. I blocked her. Don't be rude or hateful. Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, she's just going to have to wait until, 3 months when I start going through and unblocking people. Because, there's a time and a place for stuff. And, it's like these people are so petty. It's like, but I left a comment. It's like, you should have responded. It's like, okay, sorry. You know what I learned a long time ago? Every now and again, and I try to be a little bit better at it, but there's no use. Like, people make comments, and comments are just that. They're comments. Don't ask questions in the comments section, right? Why are you asking? It's for comments. It didn't say questions. If you have questions right here, it's for comments. So why am I going to read the comments? I mean, once this live is done, it's done, right? So why would I then go in and read the comments on this? The people that want to be here can be here now, and all the other people that want to talk, they have my email address if they want to get in contact with me directly. But what I find is that comments sometimes are counterproductive, right? Because people they don't even watch the video. They come in there, they attack you with their words and their word salad, and try to twist stuff around, and there's so much back and forth, especially with the hate channels, that what's the point in reading a comment that's just going to upset me? Because clearly they didn't watch it. They're just reading a title and responding with a nasty comment. That's it. They didn't even watch it, right? So why am I going to focus on, especially from people that I don't even know? Like these, they come up with some crazy names, and I'm thinking, who is that? You go to your subscribers and you don't even see them on your subscriber list. And it's like, why are you making this rude comment? Clearly, you're not a channel supporter. You're not a subscriber. You're not a member. You're not anybody that supports this channel or supports me. So that, why are you here throwing hate on my page? Either way. So I just learned a long time ago, once you throw it out there, let people comment, let them have their opinions, and leave it alone. Like, I have no business being in there reading the comments, right? I love the comments. I love the nice comments, but who likes the hate comments? Especially when just by the way they talk, they didn't even watch a darn thing on whatever you posted out, whether it's a skit, just a few, 10-minute or less, or a live like this. So, okay. Well, thank you, Sage. If Summer passed away, Jose is with her now in heaven. Yeah. Yeah. He's a sweet guy. But the problem is, I think everybody out there, everybody that was associated with this family, just had problems, just had major, major problems. I mean, they really did. They had personal problems, some, other substances issues. It's just, they had issues that it's just like everybody that had issues kind of stick together. And we talk about that. Like, there's an element out there that if you're part of that element, you're thick as thieves, birds of a feather. And I'm sure it's just the opposite. I'm sure all the Christian folk out there, all the good people, the hard workers, the people that own stores probably, socialize together, and the people like on the mountains, like the Wells, they probably have nothing to do with. I mean, I'm sure that happens. It holds true. And I talk about that even here with creators and stuff. Good creators flock together. Good creators see that other good creators are working hard and trying to do positive things. Are we all perfect? Of course not. Even the good creators do, they make mistakes. They make mistakes, no doubt. And I'm included in that. But then there's the bad element on YouTube, and all the bad element flock together, and they're in a cliquey situation, and so because people that don't act like that don't want to be around that, and you see that kind of, playing out here on YouTube, where people are still trying, especially new people, newbies like me, I'm just coming in, trying to find out who to trust, who are the good guys, who are the bad guys. And I just feel like everything related to Summer Wells and that home was just, everybody that came over there was all kind of the same. They didn't really care for, the cleaning, the cooking, the, taking care of the kids like we would expect children to be taken care of. It didn't seem like that was just the Wells. It seemed like that was the same personality and mentality of everybody that hung around the Wells. I mean, with the exception of Robin. Robin is the church lady that Summer loved. She seems to have her stuff together. MGL wanted to go apologize to her, so she wrote her a nice note. And she lived in a beautiful community. You could tell she had pride in her home, pride in her appearance. A very lovely gal in all reality. She was a nice woman, and probably why she's the only person that's sticking by through her Christianity and her faith, sticking by the Wells. Everybody else has fled. There's just a few people that believe their nonsense. No one blames you for that. You have the right to be defensive. Yeah. Well, everything I've gone through, it's like you never know. These people have just tortured me on here and tried to. Yeah. So I'm not going to. I got your message, justice for all, but I don't want to have a brawl in here. But yeah, I don't know people that well. I know you personally, so you know what I'm saying. I do know you personally, and I know we had I have all the belief in the world that you're honest, you have integrity, and all these other things. And even if it does show, I don't know one way or another. We haven't gotten the first stick of information, but even if it did show that they're playing some kind of stupid game, that's not your fault. That's shame on them. But I do believe you. If you talk to the family, you can probably tell if they were truly and visibly upset. And usually that's a telltale sign that what you're hearing is true. Also, for those people, it does take a few days, sometimes a week, for any kind of notification to be posted in the local newspaper or things of that nature. So there are some nuances to something like this, where somebody meets their demise and people are trying to search for it. It's not, especially if it's of this nature. Sometimes that's hush hush. Family doesn't want the stuff getting out to people, and again, that's understandable. So we're just we're monitoring the situation. We're going to be watching Justice for All and seeing what's going on there. So, I know you're probably, Justice, I'm pretty sure you said something to the effect of, once the toxicology and stuff gets back, you'll be kind of helping us along with this information. I hope they just don't, stop talking to you and we don't get any more information. So we'll be watching Justice for All and seeing as information starts rolling out about this, what there is. And I believe that there is going to be some kind of fundraiser for him. We'll see how that all works out. But, sorry that the man has, done this. If it is, I'm trying to be careful with my words because I don't want to be disrespectful or disparaging to Jose or his family in the least. That's not my intention. But, I think it's natural that we're all curious about what happened. We're all naturally curious because at the end of the day, his name was thrown into the Summer Wells case. And, Dudley Ajon basically told us that, he was in and around the area a few days before her disappearance. So we're curious. We're just curious as to, like that gentleman in Kylen Schulte and Crystal Turner case. He's kind of, the Adam Pinksowicz guy. So it makes you wonder, is there more truth to that? Could it have been just him going on a bender and him being really depressed about life? It doesn't sound like he's, it seems like he believes he should be further along in life than he is. And sometimes when you get to a certain age and you're not where you think you need to be, that could play a heavy toll on you. It can play a heavy toll on you. So I'm personally curious. I'm personally curious as to what happened. Obviously being on or not Facebook, but YouTube, you want the information. And I think that's what the problem is. Nobody can find the information. Nobody can get the information. Nobody can say, here it is 100%. And of course, in our minds, with all the stuff, we have a natural propensity to have the conspiracy theorist type of mindset. And, it's an unknown. So, and when something's an unknown, you're left to your own brain and you're processing things because that's what we do. We process, right? That's what the whole brain does. It processes all day long. And so you're processing. And sometimes when you can't see it, feel it, and touch it, you process in the wrong direction. So, just curious. What do people think? Do you think he's still here? Do you think he's gone? Do you believe his family? So I truly believe that there's more going behind. I thought about this, and this is my opinion. Justice for All was the only person that really had contact with Jose. Nobody could get a hold of him. I know people tried, and I know people tried because I personally tried. I couldn't find him, right? So Justice for All had the inside line to Jose. So if that connection was made. So if Jose's family has told him, I have to believe it. Because what is the motivation? What is the motivation behind Jose's family lying to Justice for All? And I thought, well, maybe they just don't want to talk about the case anymore. Maybe they just want to be left alone. Okay, well, even if we took that scenario, why would they go to this extreme? Why wouldn't they just say, hey, Justice for All, I really don't want to talk about it. Kind of like what Allie did to Dolly. I appreciate your offer for the money, but no, I'd prefer not talking about this anymore. Or the classic, law enforcement told me not to speak to you anymore, right? Why would Jose's family go to this extreme about Jose if they just want to be left alone? This was extreme. So what would be the motive behind it? What good would come out of something like this if it weren't true? Nothing would. And even if you bent to the side of saying that maybe it's a ploy for money because they're going to be trying to raise money to bury him. But again, all Jose would have ever had to do for money is come on, Justice for All's panel with a bleeding heart and talking about every horrible thing that happened to him and that he's struggling. I'm telling you, we have some bleeding hearts here on YouTube that I'm sure would have ponied up a few bucks, right? So that doesn't make sense. And I'm also a firm believer, and I like Cher as well. Cher donated, we kind of started off on a rocky, rocky. She has apologized to me. She donated purple glow sticks. Nobody knew me when I came out here. So their opinion of me is, hopefully has changed as they see the work that I do. But, I'm connecting with people. And so Cher and I've been watching her lives. I like some of the points that she makes. I do. But she's one of those things, I like proof. I'm one of those people that, if you have character and integrity and you've been honest, I'm not going to pony up proof for every little statement that comes out of my mouth. Doesn't mean it's not true. But there are some people that are all about the receipts on here, and I get it. Some people have been, manipulated and lied to. I get it. But, to plaster, that all over I don't know what good it would do. I guess that's the issue. The issue I have, like even this conversation about him disappearing, or not disappearing, but meeting his demise, has the streets of YouTube talking, right? I'm talking about it. I've got his face now plastered on a thumbnail in my videos. His face will always be plastered on a thumbnail in my videos, right? It's never going to go away. And so you got to look at the family, This has got to be very hard on the family. Look at me. I mean, was very upset this morning and yesterday over my dad's birthday. He's still living. He's still living. Can you imagine if he wasn't and his face was plastered all over the internet? It'd probably be 10 times harder for me as a family member. So, I mean, I kind of understand the need, especially when stuff like this just happens, to keep things private, right? To kind of keep things out of the eye of the public. We have no idea what this man went through, prior to the Summerwells case. We have no idea what this man's gone through since the Summerwells case. And clearly, there is if this happened the way it's everything said it happened, he had a lot of stuff on his mind and on his shoulders. He did. It was released, his location by CM. Are you aware, hun? I don't know who. I'm kind of walking into the middle of a conversation here between you. I gave him to confirm. It was on the lab call-in last night, as someone asked. Can somebody fill me in on this conversation? Am I understanding that it was confirmed by Chris McDonough in the lab that Jose has met his demise? Yeah, Lori, I agree. I wouldn't post him being done unless I confirmed with multiple sources. Yeah, that's why I trust. I do believe justice for all. The problem that kind of had me bouncing back and forth, and I'll show you my text messages. My phone's not in here. I'll show you my text messages. I even said, I'm 50-50 on this because I trust justice, but I don't trust Jose's family because I don't know, and that's where it sounded like the information came from. But then I, went through the whole, I was obviously kind of chilling yesterday. So I went through the whole process to figure out, what would be the motive behind this for it to be a lie. And I just couldn't find anything good that would make an entire family lie about something like this. I couldn't, you always got to think, the motive means an opportunity, that's kind of like the standard for anything that you do, whether you lie or tell the truth, whether you say something, whether you bring something to light, even, me telling you the story about my father. What was the motivation behind that? Is because people were calling me and concerned. They knew I was being awfully quiet the last few days. Something was off about me, and they sensed that. And so if they sensed that, I knew other people on the internet was sensing that as well, and wanted to make sure that people knew that, it is okay. We all have our own problems. We all have pain in our lives, and it is okay. It is okay. And the fact that we have each other to help get through things, and that's okay. And I'm not going to stop sharing my story or information about me that helps me connect with my audience, because we have one person out there that wants to lie about everything about me. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to allow that person to keep affecting me. Tables turn. And they better be thankful, absolutely thankful, I don't put them through what they put me through. And may choose to. Don't know. I don't know how petty I choose to go. We will see in the near future, won't we? We will see in the near future. Good morning, sunshine. I hope everything is very, very well. I hate when that happens. It's like it goes way, way too far. Like I'm trying to scroll down because I'm way behind in my messages. So I just want to make sure that I cover everything. But justice for all. I've talked with the morgue as well, Betty. Okay, so I'm sorry, but I don't see Justin going through all this if it's not true. I'm sorry, folks. I just don't. I really don't. I mean, this is extreme. You're talking about putting a lot of people in place to say, and I'm not one. I don't need receipts. I'm not one of those people that need to have the death certificate. I don't need it because I look at other factors. I use problem solving and critical thinking and other factors in determining whether I believe so. Justin has never given me a reason not to believe him, ever, ever. And I know I joke about the fried chicken, but he does have my heart over fried chicken. Just remember that, Justin. I hear you're coming to the prayer vigil. Don't forget my damn chicken. I'm just joking. Oh, I'm just joking. So it's sad. It's sad. I hope that we get to the bottom of what happened because there's a lot of questions, especially now if he really did off himself. We do have a lot of questions, even more so I think than we had before. Like, why did he do this? Because he did this, and if it was because of what happened to Summer and he was just grieving that he never saved her, or something more nefarious. We don't know. And I think that's where my head goes to more than hearing this information. My curiosity is more in line with why. Why did he do this? What was the reason for it? And I think that's going to be the answer that we need because, many people, again, left to their own devices, he was associated, he was named as a person related to this case, right? So if he was named as a person related to this case and he did this type of thing, many of us, I don't think it's a question as to whether he's met his demise. It's why. At least for me. At least for me. So we went over a lot of stuff. I wanted to throw a big shout out to Jonathan Lee Riches, aka JLR. He was one of the first people. We had that tragedy in Texas, and he was one of the first people that got the Instagram page out before law enforcement took the page down to analyze it. And his post, went viral over that, just about. I didn't check his numbers, but he had over 170,000 or 140,000 clicks on that one clip he did. So wanted to give him a big shout out for that. I know that, those types of things, are come few and far between. And he was able to, help with people's curiosity, because at the end of the day, that's what it is. People come here because they're curious as to what we're going to say, what we're going to do, what we're going to post, some things nobody's ever seen before. And, he was able to get that Instagram page out. There was a lot of peculiar behavior from that Salvador Ramos out there in Texas that was a little concerning, and even mine, I did find where his father wasn't necessarily a good guy. Jonathan also had a interview with the grandfather, and it sounded like the grandfather, at least at one point in his life, was not a good guy. And it makes me wonder, did some of the bullying happen at home? And I even made the post about it. So I'm curious about that. What drove this man to do such a despicable act? What drove him Apparently everybody talked about him being very, very quiet. Even the interview with his grandfather, he talked about they never even really had a conversation. He's living in their home and they barely even talk. That to me is a little weird. That should have been red flags in and of itself. Red flags. Will they release information through Justice for Mystic Firefly? I do believe that Justice for All is going to most likely be taking point related to any additional information being released related about Jose Roman. And the reason why I say that is because Justice for All had the closest connection, not only with Jose, but with Jose's family. And I believe in what he built that relationship. They have trust with Justice for All as opposed to any other person. So I would presume that Justice for All, as the information is being released, would be most likely released by him. And I believe it should be released by him. Um, that's just my opinion. Exactly, T. That is a good point. That is a good point. And I have to be honest with you. Me personally, never doubted Justice for All. I never doubted him. Again, my 50-50 never come from Justice for All. My 50-50 came because I don't know Jose and I don't know his family. I believe everything that comes out of Justice for All's mouth. I believe that he has done his due diligence, and I trust ICU's ability with her research. She's good. So it wasn't my 50-50 never was related to Justin at all. It was the other person relaying the information because I don't know them. And so I was looking at it, and after a few of my mods and I were chatting about it, I was doing the 50-50, and I wish, no, I do have my phone here. This is what I said, just so everybody. I said, yeah, personally, I'm 50-50 with it because I trust Justin, but I don't trust Jose. So that's where my 50-50 lie. It was not, it had nothing whatsoever to questioning Justin, ever, ever. And so, but I also know how diligent he is. And so I went after speaking, after texting that, which I texted that at, what time was that? Yesterday at 7:50. No, that's not it. Hold on. Where's my 50-50 remark? Hold on here. Give me just a second. I just had it. Let me see my message info. So I sent that at 8:01 at night. And after I sent that yesterday evening, when we were having a conversation about it, after I sent that, I started thinking about what would be the motivation, because I took Justin completely out of the equation because I trusted that he would never come to the public with something he knowingly knew was false or did not corroborate somehow. I knew that. So I'm thinking, what would the motivation? Now I focused on the family and focused on Jose, and I started processing this and asking myself, what would the motivation be for Jose's family to lie? What would the motivation be? And I kept circling around, and I can't find any motivation, just like I can't find any motivation for anybody's family to lie about something like that. I just can't. I just can't. So I think at this point, we all need to step back. And that brings me right to what I'd like to say. I think everybody needs to step back and just give a moment of silence to Jose. No matter of our opinions, no matter of our opinions, a man has lost his life. His family is grieving. And we probably need to just say a moment of silence or say a prayer for him and his family. I can't see any good reason why anybody would lie about something like this. And it's sad because there were so many more questions that we had for Jose. And that's a selfish aspect of it, but it is the truth. We had so many more questions. This is really sad. Not just for the question aspect, for his family. At the end of the day, he's loved. He's loved by moms, dads, aunts, uncles, cousins, brothers, sisters, nieces, nephews, other extended family members. No matter what path you go down in life, whether it's a good path or a bad path, family still loves you. Family still loves you. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Hey, C12, nice to see you. Bobby Lynn, nice to see you. I don't know respectfully why Dudley said that. He wasn't even close to the wells confirmed by TBI, according to Chris, too. Yeah. There was a lot of stuff, Justin, that we let him speculate as well, like what happened to Summer. He was bringing up the day before, and he had always thought that something happened to her on the 14th as opposed to the 15th. So, who knows? It might have been something that Don said to him. We all know Don doesn't have a problem lying. I don't know, but I do trust that when he was telling us that he believed it. I didn't get like, he was stirring the pot and being deceptive. I think whatever reason that he would have brought that up in all reality was because I think somebody had told him that, not necessarily that he was intentionally lying. Because when I met with Dudley, I didn't get he was intentionally lying about anything. Why would he have said that? I'm unsure. But I do believe that if he didn't personally see it, somebody else had relayed that information to him, and we have to understand why would somebody relay incorrect information. I don't know. I don't know. Guys, okay, I'm about 30 minutes behind the comments. I just wanted to let you know, guys. Okie Mom, nice to see you. Roswell baby, it's nice to see you as well. Yeah, and everybody in the chat, I want to make sure that you guys are respectful, especially to other creators in here. If I get a little saucy with creators, then let me be saucy with creators, but we like this to be, especially for other creators that come by and chat and share their time with other channels. You need to take that into consideration because this is my house and they're my guests. So make sure that everybody is playing nice and playing fair, if you don't mind. I appreciate it. Yeah. Sal, I do too. I do too. Yeah, and it's expensive, especially if you're flying somebody. It's expensive. It's more expensive than you might think, and I can tell you, it's more expensive than flying uh, regularly. Because my friend passed away here. He was my best friend, and he died here, and they ended up flying him to Pennsylvania. No, Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. Yeah, Philadelphia, PA. That's where his final resting place was, and it was very, very, very costly. I don't know how, I mean, he was the breadwinner. He always gave his mom, his sister, and everybody else money and helped them and took care of them. And I don't know what they did when he was gone. I really don't. I don't know what he was. Unfortunately, there's a lot of YouTube commentary channels that speak about other channels. Good luck on stopping all of those channels. Robin, trust me, you're talking to somebody that's well versed in that. I could tell you that. I can guarantee I get it. Jose grew up in the Bronx. A lot of people migrated upstate New York. Thank you. Tammy, it's nice to see you. Probably because Don threw everyone but the kitchen and blamed everyone else. Yes, he did. Everybody else. You know, he is one, you guys hear me say this all the time about certain topics, about look over there so you don't look over here. You know, a lot of people do that. Look over there so you don't look over here. You know, like Burnt Strudel, she's always picking on everybody else for the way they look and all this other stuff. And then we find out who she is, and it's like, those in glass houses shouldn't throw the first stone. You know what I'm saying? And then when you find out where she lives, kind of makes sense as to why she's so pro Wells, why she sees no problem with the lifestyle of the Wells. Yes, I never got to meet his grandson. Very sad. Aw, that's another point that people don't get to realize either. Jose never got to meet his grandson. It's sad. It's real sad. Where Jose was said on the lab last night, not South Carolina. San Diego. Somebody that has passed, and this is just, you know, I don't judge, but some people that have, you know, passed, especially with substances and stuff like that, in my opinion, need to stay the hell away from California. They just, that is not a good place. I hear so much stuff. You know, I guess there's not really a good place, right? Like, especially because you find it, right? No matter where you go, you always, that's just, you when you see somebody, you know their personality, you know this, you know that. So it's just crazy. But California is not a good place for anybody that's had past. I mean, do they get better? Yeah, I guess so. But, you know, I just, California just has San Diego, just, my family's from there, you know. My aunt used to be a hippie, and she ended up, you know, hitchhiking all the way out to California. She said she loved California, you know, back in the 60s and 70s. She had fun, you know. Now she's grown up and she gets to tell about the stories. She gets to tell about the stories, the California stories. I stay away. I'd like to go there one day, but that's the one of the states that I've never gone to is California. No part of California. I've been to many states across this globe, but it sounds like I may be going out to California here in the near future because, you know, there's several of us that are talking about speaking to some execs out there. It's primarily about the bullying that goes on here on YouTube that needs to stop. It needs to stop. Hi, T. Sophia. Bobby Lynn, it's nice to see you. Yeah, I know. I'm not sure what to think either. I have to be honest with you. I have no earthly idea. Maybe, how would you guys think I should open this up and, you know, hear what you guys' thoughts are related to this? Good morning, Ronnie. It's nice to see you. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, I have to agree with Spike Robinson here. You know, thank God we got to hear from him about Summer. You know, he was able to provide a different insight. Now, granted, that was based upon his views, you know, and but we did get to hear it. And we got to hear it about the dog food. We got to hear it about the cat. We got to hear his opinion of who Don Wells really was. You know, I still, in God rest his soul, but I still don't believe he had nothing to do with Candace. Because, you know, Allie and Grandis and the call to Don and, you know, about them, you know, appearing to shack up together and things of that nature, just, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't believe that. I just don't believe that aspect. I do believe something happened between them. And I think the reason why maybe he didn't acknowledge it is because of her being married. Nobody wants to admit something like that. Well, if that's true, I mean, you know, and this is what the problem is, you know, is we know that BK and I have not gotten along very well. He reached out to friends to bully me as opposed to him doing it himself. So I'm not sure if he's going to go down that road where he's physically doing it himself or he's having other people do it on his behalf. I don't know. The other thing is I tried like hell to find Jose, find out where he was. You know, I wanted to talk to him. I had a lot of additional questions. Many of you guys know that. You know, I had some, you know, I didn't believe everything he had to say. And I had very, very specific questions related to the stuff that I thought was stretched or completely false. I mean, there were some things I just like with the whole Candace and him thing. I believe he absolutely lied about that. I do believe that. Can't confirm it. You know, it's just my belief. It's just my opinion. It's, you know, I just don't believe that because I've had a few people corroborate it in a different light. That's why I don't believe it. But there are some things that I believe I believe most of his stuff was true. The things that I kind of am wishy-washy about with his statement was, you know, when somebody tries to portray themselves as like the overly good guy, that's when I start saying, you know, especially looking at the environment, looking at the conditions, realizing that, you know, he's down on his luck. He's living in this environment. He's living with all this garbage. He's living with all, you know, there's just some things that didn't ring true because I think it's just a piece of me that says, who would live like that? Who would live like that for months on end? I mean, I can understand you need a place to crash for a couple of weeks and it's not what you want, but to continue to stay there until you were thrown out by the husband or left on your own or whatever went around about that. It just, I'm a little, I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but I want to be respectful because, you know, of this current situation, but there's just, I don't want to be deceptive either. And I didn't believe everything that came out of his mouth. I did believe the majority of it. Let's leave it at that. I did believe the majority of it. Well, Ellie Mae, this is the thing. He was sentenced to an 1129, but the way that the sentencing came down, it was like he was definitely having to stay in jail for 6 full months without the possibility of getting out. But if he completed 180 days of this class, you know, related to substance and other things, he could get out. But what the problem is I don't think Hawkins County has that program in their county jail. So he would have to go somewhere for that. So it sounds like he might be able to leave after 6 months if he goes to a program for the remainder of his 6 months. I don't know how that's going to work. He may just choose to sit it out for the whole 1129. So I really don't, I don't know. I don't know, but there were different, it was structured differently. it wasn't just straight 1129. There was actually a judge actually ordered this structured um, um, sentencing. So we have to see how the structure of that's going to work and what that means. We're getting close. Like it's been, February 7th is when he went in. So March, April, May. So he's been there almost 4 months now. So, I mean, we're going to be seeing this in another couple months, what's going to happen. I'm hoping that we hear some more about, what's going on in the wells, especially with the boys. I'm curious, about that gag order. I'm curious about, when are they going to be going to court related to the boys? All that's hush hush. They really haven't discussed anything about that case, and I don't think anybody's been really looking into that case. And if it is, I think it's sealed. I don't think anybody can even see, what if they're going to court, the court hearings and things like that. Like I think this is completely out of the view of the public in its entirety related to the boys or any kind of court cases, um, you know, related to them. Mm. Tell where JS Camper is. Very wrong. There's still a minor there. I'm not sure about that. Molly Brown. Uptown. Nice to see you. Yeah. Yeah. And I believe justice for all, but there is people that are out there that just, they don't know. They don't know. And you leave them to their own devices. I mean, something can, you know. Sorry, I hope you don't feel guilty about. Yeah, the why is important. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, you got to think that, this is, he had kids of his own, guys. I mean, so we got to look at that aspect too. Jose had children of his own, and clearly grandchildren he hadn't had an opportunity to see, and which even makes this even worse, in my opinion. But I hope he had other situations, because what I'd hate to find out is that this was over Summer Wells, and it may have been he just hit bottom again. We don't know what he's been doing. I mean, clearly he was having financial issues and struggling. Justice for All bought him some non-slip shoes because he couldn't afford it. So there are some other things going on. I heard I believe Justice for All will have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe, if I'm going completely off memory, he was actually just getting back into his family's life. There's something may have happened where they pushed him away that caused him, internal stuff he didn't know how to deal with. And then with everything else going on, this stuff happened. So I really, I think we're all going to be speculating about what we feel happened, and the rumor mills are going to keep going until we know. And just like me, I I'd like to know the why. I'd like to know the why. Was it because of Summer Wells? Was it because of something else? Because if it was related to Summer Wells, that's going to make a bigger conversation, right? That's going to make a bigger conversation. Like, why would somebody do this to themselves when they've only lived with this child for 6 months? Was there other things going on? Were there other things going on? I personally don't know, you know, because a lot of us believe that, unsavory things were going on inside that home. And, you know, I mean, I don't want to disparage anybody's name, but if it comes to Summer and we're scratching our head like, this wasn't even her father. Well, he was there for 6 months or less. How can, he's been out of the house for over, many months prior to her disappearing. And it if it was over her, the question would be why? Did something happen and he feels completely guilty about it? You know, does he know more information than he alleges? It's, we have a lot of questions. I think this is going to cause a lot more questions than answers as to what happened. And I hope Justice for All is able to help close some of those questions. But, I think, and Justice for All is very capable. We watch him. He's very methodic. But me personally, I think my biggest question is going to be, did he start using again? That's going to be question number one. Another question that I have is, what events were going on in and around his life recently that provoked this type of response? And, if it was related to him not being able to handle what happened to Summer Wells, does he have information that he didn't have an opportunity to yet share with the world about her case? Lastly, you know, why? Why would he? I mean, you got to think about how low you have to be to decide this way out. I think a lot of us that have had a lot of incredible pain in our life and have been at the bottom of you know, the bottom of the pit where the only way we can go is up. I think this has crossed our minds at some point in our lives. And you obviously were here. So we didn't go through with it, right? But just think about how low we felt, how we felt that nothing's getting better, nothing's going to get better. We are so tired of this, right? Some of us make it, some of us don't. I am very thankful. I never think that way, even on some pretty rotten days. I just find out how I can keep moving forward and propelling ahead. But other people aren't so lucky. And, this needs to be a bigger conversation. And I'm curious as to whether he was bullied or not. Because if he was bullied, and because of his bullying, him being bullied caused this, then we as a community need to stand up and speak up. Because there's been many creators that have been discussing this very topic for quite some time, especially when it comes to YouTube and some of these YouTube creators. And I'm curious to find out. I don't want rumors, everybody's saying, oh, BK bullied him every day. I mean, BK and I have, we went at it. And I can tell you, he didn't bully me every day. Did he reach out to friends that did? Yes. But he himself didn't bully me every day. Did we have a back and forth there for a while? Of course. Did we still talk about each other? Of course. I mean, what can I say? It's a love-hate relationship. I love him when he's Benjamin. I hate him when he's Benny Keys. Pretty damn simple. And trust me, there are two personalities there. So he went in February 7th, I think is what it was, February 7th. So he's 6 months in. I'm not sure the exact date, Ellie. I really don't know, but he was 180 days from February 7th. I think February 7th would have been counted as a day. I don't know if the next day would be considered a day. I don't know how their calculations work, but it's going to be within 24 hours of that date that was this 180 days. But I believe if I read the order correctly, after he's out, he's got to go into some type of facility. I don't think it's going to be outpatient type of work. I think he has to go somewhere and really work on himself. I don't know. I don't know. That's just what I think. Ganja Granny. Yeah. Hi, Quinny. It's nice to see you, dear. Wait, do you know? Do you now think he may be alive? So no, well, what it was, Quinny, is we were just having the discussion because obviously Justin came out with this information yesterday. Some people just grabbed the information and ran with it. Other people are questioning it because they want to have something tangible in their hands, saying he met his demise on this date, this date, this date. And so I was just throwing the question out there, is he really gone? We don't know. And I was 50-50 on it because I love and trust Justin, but I don't know who Jose or his family is. And, it just almost feels a little suspect with the timing of this. And so last night I was trying to, just process all of this and look at the, um, you know, what would be the reason for somebody to do this, like lie about this particular situation, and I just really couldn't come up with a good reason. I don't see him. He wasn't like seeking attention. He wasn't trying to go on all these pages and him. He was just trying to have a quiet life. Why now would he go through with this and do this? So I don't see where I don't see the motivation behind his family lying about something of this magnitude. And I do trust Justin when he says he spoke to the family and the family said this. Justin also stated that he actually spoke to the morgue. So, he's corroborated this information extensively, in my opinion, whether or not he has physical documentation of it or not. I do trust his integrity. I don't see him, jeopardizing his reputation to come out with something that's absolutely false and he knows it's false. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see Justin doing that. So, just for the peace of mind, do I have the documentation? No. Do I trust, Jose's family? I don't know his family to trust them. So, but who do I trust? I trust Justin. And if I trust Justin and he's telling me that he's corroborated this information and corroborated this information, not just but from one source, but a few sources, I don't see him jeopardizing his integrity on YouTube to be the first to come out with some information that's not true. I mean, I have to think he dotted his I's and crossed his T's, especially coming out with information like he came out with. That's just my opinion. And sometimes, for me, I don't need the receipt. I don't need the receipt. I don't need to have something in black and white. It's a simple thought process, comprehension and problem solving and critical thinking. Again, what would be the purpose of Jose's family lying to Justin about this? About this, when they had 1,000 of other, if they didn't want to talk anymore, they didn't want to be on the internet anymore, there was a number of things they could have said, from, you know, um, not just not answering the phone or changing your phone number. That'd be one step into resolving the issue. The other step in resolving the issue is just picking up the phone and saying, well, law enforcement told me not to comment anymore, which we've heard, Allie say to Dolly, and, that's respectful. You don't need to tell them that you're gone just to stop talking. And then comes down to, well, maybe they'll be financially trying to gain from this. And yet they are setting up a GoFundMe page, right? So they must be doing this for money. Well, I'm sorry, but we have a lot of bleeding hearts here on YouTube. I think it would be more prudent if they needed money or wanted to concoct a scam. They bounce from YouTube page to YouTube page, giving me the old pity me routine, like say Jody Sue did, right? And people would have been handing money over hand over fist to him to help him. So that didn't really hold water, right? If they were trying to scam people, they didn't have to say he met his demise. They could have just bounced from YouTube page to YouTube page and just raked it in. People love hearing stories. They love, hearing more information about Summer. Believe me, they would have ponied up the money. Believe me. So that didn't hold water for me. So when I looked at the bigger picture, I don't really see any benefit or any motivation behind lying about something like this. Like, what would make his family lie about this? This is just not something you would lie about to other people. So after kind of processing that, I just don't see where this holds water, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion, right? Cher wants receipts. She, that's the way she is. I'm not that way. Yeah. Yeah. That is a true statement. Oh, Crime Story Assessed is in here. Good morning. Good morning, Emma. Nice to see you, honey bun. I just got to it. I know you were like 40 minutes behind on my comments. So good morning. I apologize about that. I didn't see you earlier. Good morning. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Uh, so let's see. Possible. Good point. Very good point. Very, very good point. And it is possible. You know what? And this whole thing with him meeting his demise could be something totally separated from this case. Totally separated. He could have. We knew he had been depressed previously. He may have gotten into a depressed stupor, may have lost his job. Some of I have to say, for me, how do I explain this? When I was dealing with a lot of the stuff in my life that I was dealing with, and it was coming after me, just hitting me, knocking me down, knocking me down. It wasn't the major issues that took the wind out of my sail. It was the shoelace breaking or the run in the pantyhose that just put me over the edge, right? It was just that final straw. That final straw. This may not have anything to do. It could very well have something to do with it. That's, again, comes back to the why. I'm the why person. I want to know why. But it comes back to the why. But I can tell you, it wasn't the major issue. It was that small, stupid thing that would push me over the edge. It was the run in the pantyhose, the shoelace breaking, the stubbing my toe. That would I would just be ready just to say, this is it. I give up, right? It wasn't the car breaking down or the big thing. It was that small thing that just took it right over the edge. for me. So this may, I mean, everything related to him, we're assuming may have had something to do with that baby girl. But it may not. It may literally have had nothing to do with Summer Wells at all. It may have been something totally different. He may have lost his job. He may have been looking at losing his place to live. He may have been looking at having to be homeless again in San Diego, California, if that's where it was. You know, there's a lot of things that are going on. Maybe he escalated. Maybe, you know, the substance were different and more powerful. Maybe he was done. You know, and it had nothing whatsoever to do with Summer Wells or the case. Maybe he was depressed that he never saw his grandchildren. And now he's out here, lost his job, lost his place to live, and we'll never see them. I mean, we don't know. We don't know the motivation. I'm curious as to why. So. Birdie Crime Chat, nice to see you. Yes, he did. And that's another thing, you know, this, again, it can come back to, you know, it not having anything to do with Summer Wells. You know, he had, and Birdie has a valid point. You know, he's disclosed a lot of trauma in his life, a lot. Childhood trauma. And we talk about how childhood trauma really does affect us in our adulthood. I had to address my childhood trauma to save my life. I had to address it. And I think there's other people chasing justice. It's nice to see you in here as well. So, you know, we have, oh, okay. I will get it. Thank you, Crime Stories Obsessed. I saw your text. I'll go check the emails here in a bit. I appreciate it. Thank you. And do we have something from Batgirl? Wow. Yeah, we all have some pain. There's no doubt about it. Oh, Dolly, nice to see you here. I'm behind by about 13 minutes. So we got some Dolly vision in here as well. It's nice to see you. But that's just my take on things, you know. Is he at this point? I believe he is, because I don't see any good reason for the family or Jose or Justice for All, for that matter, to be deceptive about this. I really don't. I don't see what benefit. I mean, you got to realize that anybody that does things, if they're going to do something or lie about it or manipulate or con or scan, there's got to be a reason. And I can't find any good reason for that to happen. I don't see any benefit coming from it. I really don't. There's no need to lie about something like this. I don't see his family lying to Justin about something like this. I just don't. And again, I believe Justin when he says he's corroborated by several people. I believe him. He said he spoke to the morgue. I believe him. So, you know, I don't need your receipts, Justin. What I do want is the family to let us know what was going on in Jose's life, if possible, that would take him down this dark road. That's what I'd like. That's what I'd like to know. So, good morning, everyone. Yes, it's nice to see everybody in here this morning. It's nice to see all the chat and everybody talking and chit-chatting about, you know, stuff. So, guys, what are your thoughts? I'm going to go ahead and throw the link up if you guys would like to come up and just share your thoughts on the Summer Wells case, or the revelation that Jose is no longer with us, please, by all means, come up. Let's speak about it. Let's, hear your thoughts and everything on it. You guys heard mine. So here's your opportunity to, hold on, let me get it again. I'm on the Mac. I keep forgetting how to. Oh, Lord. Okay. Like I don't have to use the control button. I'm learning. Come on. What? There we go. Okay, hold on. I was hitting the wrong button. Hold on a second. Still working this Mac. I'm telling you, it's such a learning curve for Mac products. But if anybody would like to come up. Oh, good morning, Miss Robin. I didn't see you in here earlier. I'm sorry I didn't say hi. Sweet pineapple Fruit Loop. Nice to see you. Came for the crime, stay for the chaos. Great. Johanna, nice to see you. It could be, Johanna. It could be. I mean, there's a number of things. I'm curious to find out what actually happened. And then once we get the, one way or another, what truly happened, then, Oli, nice to see you. Hello. I'm curious. I'm truly curious of what your thoughts are. So if you guys want to come up, I just dropped the link for StreamYard, so you guys can come up. Oh, I can take you off now. Sorry. Come on up and tell me your thoughts. What do you think about all this? I'm curious, and you're not going to get slammed because everybody's one way or another. You either believe it or you don't, right? There's not really a whole lot of middle ground here. Nice to see you, little Dave. Nice to see you, Selena. Buddy Love Jones, Johnson City, Tennessee. Nice to see you. Yeah, Kathy, it's possible. And of course, being out there in California, I think it's readily available, more so than other places. I guess it's readily available everywhere. I mean, it's just... Yeah. I might have hit the wrong button. Hold on. Let me try it again. There we go. Hold on. Give me just a second. Let me try it again. There you go. Crime Story. See if that one works. I don't know. It should. Yeah. Victoria. Yeah. A lot of possibilities on the table. There's a lot of possibilities on the table for this. Absolutely. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Oh, there she is. Emma. Good morning, sweetie. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. It's lovely to talk to you.
Nice to finally hear you.
Whoop, whoop. I love your channel. It's amazing.
Oh, thank you. I love yours too. When I watch it, I haven't been able to do anything. I've been here. I've been doing all this research. I've missed everybody. I haven't caught up on Dolly's. I barely see JLR's. I popped into Marissa's yesterday. I need to get back on it. Tiffany, I'll be right with you. Let me get your thoughts, and I want to bring somebody else up. So what do you think about all this?
About the Jose thing?
Yeah.
I was shocked, and the first thing I thought about was mental health. And obviously Justin was saying, try not to speculate. And it's really difficult not to speculate given the situation when you don't know much information. There's a couple of things that's gone through my head, and that is that Donald put on his Facebook page a while ago now, right at the beginning of the case, that he felt Jerry McLean was involved. And he's put a lot of people in the mix. Yes. And blamed a lot of people. But he said this on Facebook, and this guy has since died. And I've got a feeling that he was killed. I'm just trying to get his death record up. From what I was told, that's the case, but I don't know. And then we hear Jose, and they all know Andrew Hiltz. They're all friends. So I'm kind of like, is this just a conspiracy theory in my brain, or is something going on, or is it actually mental health? I don't know.
Yeah, it's very curious. Tiffany, what are your thoughts?
I think that everybody in this case is sketchy at best.
Mm-mm.
At best.
Yeah,
but
that's a good analysis.
I
Really,
and until I see proof, I doubt. I'm a Ronald Reagan trust but verify,
yeah,
and I think that everybody's sketchy, and I believe Justin.
yeah. That was never my issue either.
I believe Justin. I just don't believe anybody else. And I do think that law enforcement still believes that Summer is somewhere around there because they keep searching around the house.
Yeah.
So I don't think they think she was kidnapped or trafficked because they keep searching there. So they know more obviously than we do.
Absolutely.
Because they keep searching there. So
And what do you think? Hold on just one second. I want to get to Emma's thoughts on that. What do you think about all the searches in and around? Because in my mind, you brought up a valid point, Tiffany, but in my mind, if it was an abduction or the SA aspect of it, we would think that she would have been removed further away from the home. I mean, somebody that would want to have left immediately, get the heck out of Dodge. So with all these searches being condensed in and around that home, what are your thoughts on that, Emma?
I think it's the most obvious place, and I think that's why they're searching there. But to be honest with you, I don't think she's there. I don't think she's far, but I don't think she's there. I mean, the police have got footage, as far as I'm aware, or some evidence that she left the home twice by truck. So in which case, I think she was gone for 5 minutes each time. Now, it could have been that she was searching, if we're going to believe her. But if she took her somewhere, she could only be 5 minutes away in all directions, I guess.
Good point. Very good point.
But
I think she's further than they think, but not that far.
Yeah. And when I think, I don't know if it was BK, somebody rang Candace one day, and they were searching like right at the bottom of where she lived. And he said, you're going to search. And she said, I'm playing Monopoly, something along those lines, as far as I remember. So for her to just be so relaxed about the fact that they're like right round the corner or right near where she is, and she doesn't seem bothered that she's just playing Monopoly, I don't think she's around that area or that close for her to care. Otherwise she would have been that relaxed,
Right. That's a good point. It's a good point. Tiffany, what do you have to say?
In a million years as a mother, I know everybody acts different, but I'm a mom and a grandma, and I can't in a million years imagine. They could tell me I can't search, but they can't force me not to search.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Oh, I'm drinking while I'm searching.
Right.
Yeah. They had that school shooting 2 days ago, and I'm on the phone with my son, and I'm like, you and Papa are dropping Caden off at school in 3 years, and you're going to sit there, and I'm going to be in the parking lot while he's at school, and then his mom's going to pick him up from school, but that school's never going to be unattended. Right. And we're all going to be carrying a gun, watching the school. I just can't imagine not looking for my kids.
Yeah, that's been my issue as well, is the lack of searching by the family for a young child at the age of 5 when she disappeared. Like, I've met many families, and they've formulated search parties with hundreds of people, hundreds,
or sisters, or cousins, or friends, or I can't imagine.
Nobody in and around outside of law enforcement has EquiSearch, we hear about EquiSearch. EquiSearch is a great organization. I don't want to discredit them, but I mean, what I'm trying to say is this has been companies and nonprofits that have been doing all the searching. What about the family, the friends, the church? Nobody has gotten involved in trying to locate this young child that went missing, that everybody apparently loved and adored.
And that church, they like their reputation. So if they were going to organize some big search, we would know about it, I'm sure. They would want everyone to know that they were doing this great thing. They were searching for Summer Wells, and we've heard nothing like that.
Prayed.
Yeah, they've done like a vigil where a few people turned up. But that's not helping to find her, is it? That they could be out there looking. I don't know.
Looking, especially because of the rugged terrain, because these people are more adapt to that type of environment. They would know the little holes or the little places that a young child could go and be, maybe as opposed to a search group that's coming in from out of town. I mean, they're very methodical. I'm sure they planned a lot of this, but I think Cam and Allie have made valid points as well, where they said, not all these areas can be checked because of the terrain, the steepness of, I mean, even the property where she went missing off has, I mean, straight down slopes off that mountain, Granted, you can't see around it. So if somebody did fall, you would be able to see them in and around that particular mountain. But, if she had traveled, went a little further, or, who knows. But I have to say that, people in around that area would know how to navigate that because they've navigated it for themselves previously.
Well, for the prisoner, they have the heat-seeking stuff immediately out there. So horses and heat-seeking things, I mean, they can have all of that out there. They didn't.
Right.
When it was critical, they didn't. So
right.
I don't understand. I mean, they in Florida, they had Cassie Carley go missing, and I live in North Carolina, and I was ready to drive down there.
I was there. I actually went there.
I was ready to head down there.
I went there, and I was there the day that her brother and sister, I got an interview with them. And literally within 5 minutes after the interview with them, the law enforcement came over and got them and came over to me and told me that they needed to speak with the family and give them an update, and they would be back, because I asked the officer if he'd give me an interview about the what their protocols for a missing person is, some very benign stuff, nothing related to her specific case. And he said he would whenever he got back, but they ended up, and I can only imagine the family got that news and they took the whole command center, that RV, and they left the area, and then they didn't come back by 2:00, they still weren't back. And I knew something was breaking off, and I had left. And I believe it was Ronnie that reached out to me. One of my mods in here, she was my first mod, reached out to me and said, "Did you hear the news?" And I'm like, I'm just now heading back. And I'm like, hearing what news? I just left. They're like, they found her. And I'm like, my heart just sunk.
My daughter lives in Destin. Her husband is stationed at the Air Force Base there.
Mm-hmm.
So that just hits.
Yeah. And their family, they were out there every single day. And even if law enforcement told them to stay out of it and to sit home, guess what? They weren't doing it.
Summer's a baby.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't understand.
What I think happened, this is my thought, and you guys can agree or disagree. I'm curious, but my thought is that maybe law enforcement told them, hey, no, we've got many bodies out here right now. Don't be searching for, stay home in case you get a call or, something like that. I can see that happening up front, but did carte blanche tell them never to search for her, even after they're done searching for her? It just doesn't ring true to me.
Well, if we go back to the very beginning, didn't H post some? Was this true? Did H post something on Facebook saying that Candace had put Summer down a well?
I have not seen that post from him, but I have to say, I've never searched his Facebook page.
Well, apparently it got deleted as quick as it went up.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true, but I honestly believe when you read that message that Grandis put on Facebook, when she says, Hun, Sum, I and Candace were planting flowers. I don't think that was Honey. I think that was Hunter. I think it was Hunter. I think he was there that day.
Yeah, because they've been trying to make sure that he's been distanced from that property, that he never made it back to that property since the beginning. I mean, she's, with Chris McDonough, she made it very clear. She drove him home, and all these. There's a lot of unknowns with this. Primarily, whether Hunter was there. I personally believe that Summer never got out of the truck when they did make it home. My friend Jonathan believes that she never made it home after they dropped Hunter off.
Yeah.
And then you've got whether Don Wells was at the house at the time this all happened, as opposed to being at work, because I have yet to find anybody that says Don works that late into the evening. I've heard that he's gotten up at, midnight and has gone to work, but I've never heard him staying later than, not arriving home by 4:30 every evening. I mean, he was a man of, he did the same thing every day. So him coming home and screeching up the driveway, at 6:30 or 7 o'clock at night just didn't ring true from everything that I had spoke to other people about. So and then you hear one of his first interviews that he says, we just weren't paying attention, or something to that effect. I think Jonathan posted it up yesterday. I saw something with one of his interviews, and it's like, and I had brought it up with an interview that I had with him. I had a couple of them where he said the last time we saw her, and everybody kept saying he misspoke. But how many times can you misspeak? To all these different people, as opposed to you're not keeping to your own script and you keep slipping up.
Yeah. I think if they want to find her, I think she's either down a well or she's down a septic tank. And I know it's not something we want to imagine. It's the worst case scenario, but I don't think that they're going to be that silly that they're just going to leave her abandoned somewhere by a river or in the middle of a field or under a tree. I think they would, if they have done something or something did happen to her and they've covered it up, I think you're more likely to find her somewhere where you wouldn't expect, like down a well or in a sewage tank somewhere.
And there's also, I was watching somebody else that said, these aren't, I think, to be honest with you, it was one of the first behavior panels where they say these people aren't that sophisticated, and they're not actors and stuff, and they're like, it's going to be difficult. And this was many months ago, and I'm thinking, but Don is a career criminal and has spent many years in jail, and even though he himself has never been in jail for something like this in the past, he has been around people that have.
Yeah, and he knows how to cover things up in order to stop himself from going back again.
Yeah,
I would think.
Yeah, and so and even not only that, but I mean, he's not only been in jail in Florida, Arkansas, Texas, Utah, Tennessee,
Florida.
I mean, he's been around the block.
Yep.
He's got definitely an education in criminal
and construction.
Yeah, and construction. Yeah. And there were some people that believe those two houses. We went to the houses where they last worked, and I always questioned whether because we heard, and I was never able to corroborate it, but we heard that there was a smell coming from one of those houses, and they had to pour concrete or something to that effect. And I couldn't understand. But even Dudley had indicated to us that there was footers hadn't been poured in one of the houses at the time. And it always made me wonder, is there anything to that smell that people were smelling before the concrete was poured? Is there something? Because I honestly, outside of being at the scene where Brian Laundrie met his demise and smelling, I mean, it was a horrific smell. You could not dispute that. And it apparently he was in that condition within 9 to 10 days. And so it makes me wonder, this was a hot time of the year for Tennessee as well. And
I wish I'd been there, because I get to, doing my job, I get to see lots of things such as that. And I could have, smelt it and told you straight away if that was something nefarious.
Yeah.
I always think
it just makes me wonder. But you know what? When we were all over that Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park looking for him, people say that there was going to be bird activity, the flying there was none of that, because we were all over the park. We saw none of that. It wasn't like, we kind of, a lot of people don't know, when Jonathan talked about the dog that he saw at the foot of the base of the Wells property, and it caused that spark of emotion where I put that video out that I was very upset about this animal. There was more animal life, so to speak, for that dog than we saw for Brian Laundrie. Just,
I was so sad.
it is
falling.
It is.
Two animals.
But, yeah, and it was, but it's the truth. Like, that's what we saw there with that dog when he pulled up is what we were expecting to find, and what we were hoping would guide us to where Brian was if he had met his demise out there. And so that's what we were looking for. And but we didn't see it there. Even with Kathleen Moore and Collin Knapp, she was right behind his house. We were expecting to see, some kind of activity that would guide us to where she might be. And we knew the area she was. I couldn't get to it because I didn't have my wading gear on, but she was right there. And we didn't see. The only thing I saw is the house where she was at. Behind it, there were like 4 big black crows on top of the roof of that house. But as far as having the birds flying around and stuff like that, it wasn't like that.
I think that humans have a smaller decomposition window now than animals do.
Yeah, something happened.
Animals need to be eaten circle of life kind of thing. And that's not, I don't think that's the human's way of
right. But that's what we were expecting, when we like watch forensic files and stuff like that. They say that the people in those towers, they look for things like that to help. They think stuff might be a cow or something like that. And one of them, I remember watching it 14 years ago. They thought it was a cow in a pasture, and they sent somebody out to look for it, and come to find out it was somebody else. So we kind of look for those animal type of signals letting us know. And here in Florida, this was 2 cases with 2 people, and I was expecting those in both cases and got nothing. Just weird, but that's just kind of a tangent that we went off on. But guys, I thank you. We're coming up on 2 hours, and I've got to start my day. Emma, when are you coming on? Are you coming on live later today?
Probably not. No, I've got to pick Penny up from school and then help her with her homework and everything. But thank you for having me on, and it's always lovely to see you.
Absolutely. Come back anytime.
Hi,
You
Tiffany.
as well, Tiffany. This was a great conversation. I loved it. It's I like having perspective, and I think this shows 3 different people's perspective of things. It comes back down. Is Jose here? Is he not here? What happened? What happened to Summer Wells? We were still curious about all of those things, and still, as of right now, we have no answers.
And just be careful, because you are close to the whole thing. So be careful.
Yeah. And we're still doing the, I did get the call back from Detective Cliff Evans from Hawkins County, and we are go for our prayer vigil and candlelight vigil for Summer Wells for June 15th, 2022 from 7 to 9:30 p.m.
I will see you there.
Oh, awesome. I can't wait. All right, guys. Love you.
See you later. Bye, guys.
Bye. So we got to hear from, it was so nice to see Crime Stories Obsessed. I love watching her. She's so sweet. And I love what you did with the studio as well. I did see all the cute little, the little shelving and stuff like that. I forgot to tell you, it looked really nice as well. So I know you did that a little minute ago, but just wanted to throw that out there. And for the rest of you guys, I hope you guys found this informative. We didn't really answer a whole lot. You know, the people I think that came here with the same question, they're probably going to leave with the same question they came here with, because, you know, some of us, you know, we need the receipts. Some of us, we don't, you know, it's the problem solving. And I think at the end of the day, the consensus is, no matter what side of the aisle you're on, we believe what Justin with Justice for All says. We trust him. I think the contention isn't that we don't trust him. I think the contention is we don't know and trust Jose or his family. Now, if we do trust Justin, and he said he spoke to the morgue, what would be the benefit of the morgue lying to us or lying to him? There is none. There is none. So with that aspect being brought to us, it kind of pushes me more over to the side of Jose is really gone. And now it pushes me to the curiosity question. Why? Why is he gone? Is it from another issue? Or is it something he cannot live with related to Summer Wells? Guys, with that, I'm going to close. I want you guys all to make it a great Thursday. God bless each and every one of you. It was great to be back in the office. It was great to be with all you guys today. As I told you, yesterday was very painful for me. And, you know, I was able to purge that today with each and every one of you. I want to thank you. Like I said, you guys are here for me as much as I'm here for you. And I thank you for that. I really do. I value each and every one of you with every bit of me. And with that, guys, I hope you have an amazing day. And remember, don't allow obstacles and pain that you're dealing with dictate your future. You can wake up each and every day and start a new life. If you're struggling or having problems with addiction or otherwise, please reach out and get help. If you are depressed, you know, there are so many people that don't know how to handle it. Sometimes just letting somebody know something is going on in your life is the first step in saving your life. So don't keep things in, don't keep things quiet. You know, we don't want any other people losing their lives like this, like Jose may have lost his life. We want people to thrive. We want people to be successful. And success means a host of different things for everybody. Success doesn't necessarily mean monetization, monetize-wise. Success could be getting that job we're seeking. Success could be getting in that relationship that we are longing for. Success could mean, you know, bridging that broken relationship and you know, making it into a beautiful forever relationship. There's a lot of things that mean success for different people. You need to define what success looks like for yourself and go out there and achieve that. We don't want to hear any more people losing their life at their own hands. We want to help. And if there's any way I can help you, please reach out to me. I am here. I love each and every one of you guys. God bless each and every one of you guys. And don't forget to go out there and be fearless, folks. Good day.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.